He drove into the back of my car and gave me a puncture.
I'm not going to talk about it, so...
And Anderlecht are the victors. Davide Rigon.
I'm very happy, very happy.
Super carrera.
Marcus Martin is a very, very happy man.
What a very popular winner here. He's going to force the leader to defend again.
He's got past, but has he overrun?
Can he keep the power on? Yes, he can. The teams and drivers have swapped the Adriatic Sea in the tight confines of the Adria circuit for the Atlantic, the Algarve, and the state-of-the-art wide-open spaces of the International Autodromo just outside of Portimao here in Portugal. Although the coastal setting looks similar, the track is very, very different. It's almost 3 miles of undulating circuit. It's demanding and very fast. Earlier this week, we took Superleague Formula by Sonangol down into the old port of Portimao. Predictably, it drew a crowd with the Liverpool and FC Porto cars in attendance and Liverpool's driver, Frederic Verviche, the Belgian, who impressed us so much in his debut last time out. Well, he was there as well, and not just to sign autographs, he showed the crowd the mighty power of 750 horsepower and V12. Now, here is the Sporting Club of Portugal, Sporting Lisbon car, one of 2 Portuguese clubs represented. We asked the driver of the other one, FC Porto, Alvaro Parente, to show us around the circuit.
Alvaro Parente, FC Porto. Welcome to Portimao track, and here I'm entering the main straight. Quite bumpy, important to have the correct ride height for the car. Then braking into the first corner, 4th gear corner, quite fast, late braking. Then you come into the second one, which is a hairpin. Then an uphill left, always on power. Interesting corner, have to be careful always with the rear. Then you come to another hairpin. Good opportunities for overtaking in this corner, so should be interesting to watch the race there. Then you go again uphill into a fast right-hander, which really you do 2 corners in one, so you carry a lot of speed at the beginning, then you have to brake for the second part of the corner. Again uphill and now aggressive downhill, you don't see a lot, a flat left-hander. And now a tricky bit, key point of the track, which is a blind right-hander. You have to carry speed at the same time, but also be careful at the minimum speed through the corner. Then again, another hairpin to the left, long corner, to wait a bit on exit. And coming into the main straight is a very fast right-hander, which should be flat, and is very important also because you can win or lose a lot of time and prepare for the overtakings in the main straight. Thank you for watching. I think we're ready to have a good result here.
Alvaro Parente on home ground. Well, last time out, Davide Rigon for Anderlecht had a near-perfect weekend, pulling himself up to within 12 points of the lead. But amazingly enough, there's still another 4 teams who are within just 1 win of the top of the championship table.
Superleague Formula had looked like a 2-horse race. Until this.
What's going to happen here? Touch! His win's gone!
And Dolby's got a left rear puncture!
He knew I turned in, there was no room for him.
When he's really blaming me, then I think he would say something.
He drove into the back of my car, gave me a puncture, so I'll say no more about that one.
I came second last year. There's 1 goal this year, and that's to win it, so that's what I'm going to do.
Now there are others with their eyes on the championship lead. 50 points separate the top 5, so a race win could see any of them move to the front. Olympiacos recovered from Chris van der Drift's horrific accident at Brands Hatch in some style. Experienced driver Neil Yanni comes in for this race after Ben Hanley kept them in the hunt at Adria.
The team has all the chances to finish on the top in the championship.
4th in the championship is super final specialist Max Bissell.
1 win and we stay on the top, and they are behind me. We were very strong, was 7th from a super final, and we have the chance to win the championship.
2008 champion Davide Rigon deserved the adulation he received at his home race.
Vai Davide, Rigon!
From now on, if they don't find something more in the car, I'm there in the top for sure.
I needed to be always in the podium, stay there, concentrate, focus, and then we will see how is the destiny, but I'm confident for the champion.
Yeah, Davide! Good one, good one, good one!
And just 3 points off the championship lead is AC Milan's Jelmer Berman.
The focus is not just on Craig, but it's also on the other cars. So it just makes it more, more of a challenge, really.
"18 cars here at Portimao, a great sight on the grid. Let's find out how the early part of the weekend went as we look back at qualifying. First job of the weekend, the draw. And the big news here, Spurs and AC Milan kept apart in separate groups. Here's the 4 qualifiers from Group A, the top 4, but look down in position 7. There's the headline, Jelmer Berman and AC Milan don't go through. Group B, and nice to see FC Porto going through with the Portuguese driver Alvaro Parente. Tottenham Hotspur in 3rd, Craig Dolby stealing a march on AC Milan early on, and the fastest time in this group, Max Wissel. The first quarter-final pitted FC Porto against Anderlecht, and ultimately it would be disappointment for the home team.
FC Porto, 124.2, 1 second away. He probably pushed as hard as he could.
Robert Dombos for Corinthians has raced and won here before. Local knowledge didn't help though. And it's a 33.7. That's a great time, and celebration on the wall for Galatasaray. Beijing's John Martin has been a star in qualifying this season. Bad news for the championship leaders. Craig Dolby and Spurs is out. They're out. The last of the quarterfinals pitted Flamengo against Basel. 33.5 for Basel. They'll go to the semi-finals. Great lap by Wissel. The first semi-final was over almost before it started. He's off. He may have blown that already. 33.1. He's just getting quicker. The second semi-final was a tale of 2 mistakes. At the first corner, John Martin almost cost himself a place in the final, but at the top of the hill, it all slid away for Max Wissel. 33.5 takes it, and John Martin and Beijing go through the final. The 2 form teams made the final, a repeat of Adria. We expected it to be close, and it was. 21 thousandths, absolutely nothing in it. That's the blink of an eye. 58.8 is very quick from John Martin. What about the time for Anderlecht? Oh, it's still so tight. It's anybody's this. 33.1, a fantastic time in the final. Now, what about Anderlecht? Davide Rigon, 31. No, it's gone. It's gone. He's lost it in the last sector. A masterful qualifying performance by John Martin of Beijing, going for pole position. Now here's how the championship stands before we go racing. Spurs and AC Milan, just 3 points between them. Anderlecht, Basel, Olympiacos, all within striking distance. Beijing going in the top 10. And still more than half the field in with a mathematical chance of taking the top spot at the end of the season.
Yeah, a huge task on your hands in race 1. Your main championship rivals much further up the order than you are.
Yes, they are, unfortunately. No, I mean, we just tried some stuff on the car now. So either I'm going to be flying to the front or probably stay about here. So hopefully it will get good. But, we just had to try something, and hopefully it works.
Good luck.
3rd in the championship, 2nd on the grid for the 4-man Davide Rigon of Anderlecht. And Abby caught up with him before he got in the car.
Davide, this is potentially huge for the championship. You're starting on the front row. Is this your chance to go to the top of the leaderboard?
For sure, it's a good moment, but in the second race they can get a lot of points. I'm in the back, so now we just think about this race. Looks like the car is very good. We will see. I don't expect a good car this morning. We will see. It's important to have a good start and then to win the race. We will see. Good luck.
This weekend, FC Porto is driven by Alvaro Parente, a Portuguese driver for a Portuguese team at a Portuguese venue. Craig Dolby will have to make up positions to challenge and get his championship lead back. And Beijing have the clear track ahead of him. Can he convert that into a win? Find out when we come back on Super League Formula. 18 Super League Formula cars in the sunshine at Portimao, being led away by the Nissan GTR pace car. And what a facility here on the Algarve. Built at a cost of 195 million euros and opened in 2008. It's a tricky, undulating and very quick circuit with passing positions at turn 1 and at the hairpin at turn 6. John Martin will lead them away with Davide Rigon alongside him, Vissel and Soucek on row 2, Don Boss and Dolby on 3, Tappi and Alvaro Parent on row 4. 5, Neil Yarni back in the series but driving for Olympiacos. Look further back, there's Frederic Verviche driving for Liverpool. Jelmer Berman way down the field for AC Milan. He'll have to do better than that to keep the championship challenge going, and it's the two French clubs at the back. Watch the red lights, you can see them right in the middle on the Sonnet Gold Bridge. There is the clock. Watch for those red lights to go green and we're racing. Look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide as they stream past our current position. Fantastic start for the pole sitters. He goes down, John Martin leading, but look at this. That looks like Max Vissel coming down the inside. That's a great manoeuvre there.
And now look at that, already a stretch from Beijing, who's leading in an overtaking maneuver on the inside on the Basel car. That was Sevilla on the Basel car. They're all side by side. Oh no, it was Liverpool, Frederic Verviche that had made a maneuver on the inside.
Well, he's come from nowhere and it looks like Max Vissel is chained to a post at the moment.
And already AC Milan is already moving up because he's in front of Duncan Tappi. I don't really quite know his position, but it seemed that he had a good start.
Oh, look at that, right off the side onto the AstroTurf. That's not actually real grass there. So it's Beijing, Anderlecht, Galatasaray, Craig Dolby for Spurs, the championship leader in 4th. Then Corinthians, then Liverpool, Basel, Porto, AC Milan up to 9th position from 13th. That's a great first lap for Berman.
Oh, that's the Girondin de Bordeaux car. It's
no
over.
Wing.
No, yeah, it's over for Celso Miguez on the first lap.
That is a shame for him. You can almost see his disappointment.
Yeah,
Dolby's gone through.
Yeah, Dolby's gone through, and I think AC Milan as well is going to be in 8th position because they made a maneuver as well. Soucek couldn't defend as well in the middle of the field. Tottenham's gone through and it's cleared.
New 3rd place then for Craig Dolby, the championship leader. He loves to race. Qualifying not his forte, but he managed to get in to the playoffs here yesterday, and that allowed him to have a good start. Now, this is how the 3rd place changed. Craig Dolby making the move. Well, he's a long way back there, but he must be getting the tour.
Long way back. No, a tour and a push to pass for sure, because he's like 20 k's faster into the first corner, but he managed to stop the car, which was really, really hard because he braked late with lots of momentum, stopped the car, and now defends the position. Good job. Great job.
Perfect manoeuvre. That's straight out of the driver's handbook, isn't it?
This is Maria de Villota, I think.
She's had contact. That was what we saw on the timing screen. Lots of push to pass being used. Look at the red lights going on there. Everybody's hitting it.
If I can say, Galatasaray is again in front of Tottenham. He made a move using the push to pass and gained back the 3rd position.
Yeah, learned from Craig Dolby the previous lap. So it's Beijing, Anderlecht, Galatasaray. Now Spurs, Corinthians, Liverpool moving up. Basel, FC Porto, Flamengo. AC Milan have dropped back to 10th position. Here's the start again. My goodness me. How did we get all of these around the first corner?
I don't know, they're all side by side. I think the front, Beijing, stopped and was pretty slow all the way, and the guys at the back were so impatient. They were early on the throttle, but they all kept it together. Look at that.
Where did the Bordeaux car lose its front wing? Was it this early on or later on the... Oh, look at that, right on the dirty stuff. There's 5 wide there.
Yeah, Duncan Tappi on the inside.
Great move by Soucek there on the inside, the yellow and red car coming through. He made up good positions.
AC Milan on ball. Ooh, you know what? That is overtaking before the green line.
Ooh. Yes, start-finish line. You shouldn't be able to make up any manoeuvres. Look how far those guys were over on the right-hand side.
But it's a brilliant, brilliant start. He was cautious on the brake, though. As you can see, he actually re-lost 3 positions on the brakes, but he probably made 6 out of his start. So
he
overall,
was fighting that car through turn 2, Jelmer Berman.
Yeah.
You see him in the middle of the shot there, just having to dodge around to hold on to things. Now, this is Craig Dolby, the championship leader. And as championship leader, of course, you have to be a little bit circumspect. There's Soucek in the Galatasaray car, and Craig sort of gets in behind him and decides to follow him down the inside. And that proved to be a good decision as he comes at the first corner. Do you know what? For the championship leader, that's brave.
And as we see again on the top left and the left, using another push to pass just to keep up with Beijing, to put some pressure on him and to make sure he's going to be there. Oh, that's Flamengo, Duncan Tapi that ran wide into the second from last corner.
Look at everybody. They're going to be out of this by the time they hit the pit stop.
Whoa, look at that. Whoa, whoa, he's not going to make the corner. Clearly
no
not.
way Vivacious holding on to that. Don Boss.
Oh,
my
three of
goodness
them
me. Three wide through there. And ahead of them, somebody had gone off as well.
Okay, that was Vervish trying to make a move on Dornbos. The two of them were on the push to pass, but so was Porto behind them, and he got past the two of them, which was a brilliant maneuver.
Let's watch from on board with Frederic Vervish, the former Formula Renault driver. Well, he gets the move done, but there's no way stopping the car from there. He's going to have to pay to get back in. He went off so far now. Now watch the right-hand side. Oh, there's Dornbos coming back. And Alvaro Perez says, it's like my birthdays and Christmases come together. He steals through on the right-hand side. Two places in one manoeuvre. Here it is from the outside.
And look how far on the right was Alvaro Perez, but he had so much more momentum, and the two of them were out of the track that he kept it together on the inside. Ciao. Beijing and John Martin are posting the fastest lap time now. He probably used the push to pass, not even sure, because he wants to create more space for himself. Yeah, there he goes again. He needs to create more space for himself just to be safe as he's going to do the pit stop, basically.
Yeah, we've seen before that pit stops can turn this around. And you notice that John Martin and the cars behind him were on the push to pass before the final corner. And that just tells you they're absolutely nailed to the floor in that right pedal as they come through that very tricky final corner over the brow. Because if they lift off too much, they lose the push to pass facility if the revs drop down too far. So they're nailed to the floor well before the final corner. Oh, no, that looks like a set of brand new tyres.
And that's Maria de Villota, not looking so happy.
Recovering from a shoulder incident, of course. Incident with Sporting back in this weekend. Now, will the leader take the early stop? He's the first man to have it. Yes, he does. He dives in very late. He's followed in by Anderlecht. Davide Rigon in second place. Milan's in as well.
Let's hope that there's no problem here for Beijing. No, clean and new tyres as well. And same new tyres for AC Milan. That has a very good stop. And David Rigon is behind.
So
just behind. And new tyres as well for David Rigon. Very early on the throttle for Beijing. The gap is the same.
Here also is Vervish from Liverpool. Well, we saw them getting ready early, but he must have gone round and done another lap.
Tottenham, new tyres, good stop. No problem for him. And Corinthians as well. Good stop. Oh, they're side by side. He has to give away. He has to give way.
Racing on the pit lane limiter is always a bit scary, isn't it?
Exactly.
Out they come, and there's a huge gaggle of cars rejoining now.
And you know what? I think AC Milan is actually going to be in front of them. I think AC Milan has such a good stop that he's in front of Tottenham Hotspurs.
Well, Berman, remember, started 13th on the grid as we're watching Corinthians. Oh, and that... See, now there's Porto going off the track again. All four wheels over the edge. He's been warned for that already at that point on the circuit. Beware, Alvaro Perez. We have a very strict officiating crew here. This is a Formula One standard circuit, so there's plenty of runoff. As in comes the leader. Galatasaray then, making the best of it. Let's find out how good Andy Soucek has been. Hard on the brakes at the pit lane limit.
Very good in lap, I have to say, but a fantastic lap from Beijing, who laps in 31.9 with lower fuel and new tyres.
Well, Beijing's going down the start-finish straight. It's going to be mighty close, you know. As he comes out, Galatasaray's certainly going to have made up some positions. You won't hold on to the lead, but that tactically has played out okay. Now he's got to get on the power. Get on the power. Here comes the rest of the pack. This is the real battle. He's on slightly cooler tyres. He'll not quite have the grip as he comes through turn one.
He runs wide and it's wet. It's going to be overtaking on the inside by AC Milan. Is he not taking the risk? No, and look at that. We've got AC Milan and Tottenham together. The two on championship leaders at the moment. Oh no, he spins!
No, that's Dolby goes around. Dolby's gone around, got on the power too early. Masterful save though, and he's only dropped a couple of positions. But he was right on the tail of his main championship rival there. Here it is again. Watch the white and blue cars. It goes up. Oh, he's lost it really early in the corner, much earlier than I thought.
Just over the bump as you turn in, he was fast, but he didn't have much downforce because he was behind, very close, the AC Milan car. and we're on board with the Corinthians, and up we're just Tottenham spun, going into the hairpin, turn 5, very bumpy here on the brakes, from 6 into 2nd. You have to make the apex, which he does very well, struggling to put the power back down with a bit of oversteer. And the blind left-hander, very fast into this right-hander. Lots of downforce on the side, as you can see, more than nearly 3 Gs, a bit of a moment turning into there, completely blind, going downhill very aggressively. You're nearly jumping down, then blind up the hill after the left-hander, very hard on the brakes, very difficult to keep the car together, but he makes it very well, clips the apex, back onto the throttle, 4th, then 5th for a short time, hard on the brakes again, last hairpin from the corner, makes the apex, very clean driving from Robert Dondos, back onto the power, 2nd, 3rd, keeps 3rd, low revs, but really important to get back early on the throttle, not to have too much oversteer, which he didn't have very good, and flat through there into the last corner. Whoa, not quite flat, just big oversteering moment at more than 240 km per hour, up to 6th, and in the very bumpy straight line again. That was a lap with Dondos.
The temperature starting to rise now. Early start for us this morning, but this circuit will warm up. The air temperature goes up very rapidly. There's very little wind in the early morning, changes in the afternoon. We're in the foothills, about 6 or 7 clicks off the coast, and this track warms up very quickly, and that will be significant, particularly for this afternoon's race. But I've got a feeling that if we took the temperature at the start of this race, in the end, there'd be a big difference between the track temperature.
Yeah, it will, and using a push to pass, Liverpool making the move. That's on Corinthians, I think.
6th position.
Yep. Very good move from Dervish, was early on the push to pass and made a position there.
Dolby is recovering from that spin early on. Galatasaray and AC Milan not staying on the track, and there is the black and white flag. That's a warning. That means the stewards are watching you, and part of this crew were at Silverstone last weekend and handed out a lot of penalties in the Le Mans series for exactly the kind of offences we're seeing. Yelmer Berman in particular will have to take it easy here, because he could throw away a very good result if he's not careful, sitting in 5th position. Here's Dolby going for position. Corinthians and Donbos goes to the inside, but that is I'm afraid, a pass that could not be stopped.
No, using a push to pass, his last push to pass basically, which gave him a lot of speed at the top.
And 7th position.
Yeah, and Craig Dolby, using a very special line through there, but it works, he does very well, and makes up a place and recovers a little bit from his earlier spin.
And there's the drive-through penalties. Galatasaray and AC Milan. My goodness me, this is the battle we're looking at for 3rd place. They've been warned and warned and warned. We saw in the background that they were going all 4 wheels off the circuit. We saw that the team managers have been summoned to the race director, and that can only mean one thing: a penalty is coming. They've made their case, but the race stewards have told them now they need to get in as soon as they can, really, to have any chance of making the time. And that's a good move by Berman.
And he's like, why, what have we done,
Not expecting direct image for you and Galatasaray.
Now look at this, where's he dropped back? Has he dropped back behind Craig Dolby is the question. And look at this, it's so tight again as they come off turn number 1.
Oh, he's dropped back a lot, because this is Lyon, and in front was Duncan Tapi, and they're way back down the field in 10th position and 11th position, so he's now 11th.
Oh, now here's a problem.
Yeah.
This is Eindhoven, and that, I'm afraid, is a very unusual engine fault.
Yeah, park the car, don't cross the line, because he's putting oil everywhere. Yeah, that's the best thing he could do, but he crossed the line through that turn 4, which is already super hard, very bumpy, very slippery, so let's hope nobody spins through there. Galatasaray is in the pit lane to do the drive-through penalty.
No, and again, look, he's got his hands up. Why? What have I done? Has he not seen the flags?
Yeah.
On the 22 car as well, that's AS Roma, Julien Jus. But the story at the moment is this topsy-turvy roller coaster ride for our championship leaders, with Craig Dolby qualifying well ahead of Yelmer Berman down in 13th. Berman races up to 4th and throws it away by going off the track. Craig Dolby spins it away and then fights back. Advantage Spurs again as Dolby is back up into 6th. So Davide Rigon has that much gap between himself and the green and white car ahead. Oh, and a big slide there from the car right in front of our leader. And that will have caught Beijing-Gone driver John Martin's attention. Now, he doesn't need to get caught up now in lapped traffic. He's got to be very savvy here as the Anderlecht car is hoving into view over the top of the brow. But surely now it can't go wrong for John Martin from pole position. He's converted to a maximum 50. There's the checkered flag. 50 points for Beijing. Anderlecht second, continuing a phenomenal run of form by Davide Rigon. And the crowd in the top deck of the grandstands will see a home driver and a home team taking the 3rd position.
Here's confirmation of the race 1 result, with Beijing beating Anderlecht by just over a second. FC Porto a popular 3rd position. Liverpool, Spurs, Corinthians, Basel, Flamengo, Galatasaray, AC Milan only down in 10th position. Then it was Lyonnais and Sevilla, the bottom 3 clubs, not getting the trip.
John, aggressive from qualifying yesterday, race 1 and repeat performance, great stuff.
Yeah, for sure. The car was absolutely awesome. It's absolute credit to the boys that they've done another amazing pit stop like in Adria, so we're right on form there. I'm just lucky the car was so easy to drive today. It's just so fast, and it's a bit of a cold, so it's sort of knocking me around a bit. I just can't breathe, so it sort of, yeah, made a few little mistakes because of it, I think. But race 2 is going to be tough, but the adrenaline will take over and we'll be sweet.
Here's the championship standings after race 1. It couldn't be closer, just a point between the top 2. Milan still in 3rd position, but Basel closing up in 4th. Beijing going up to 9th position ahead of Liverpool. In the bottom half of the table, well, still points to be scored there. Corinthians, Galatasaray, Sporting Club of Portugal with a points haul as well this weekend. The top 3 cars are in Parc Fermé with their trophies, and they, along with the rest of the field, will be soon getting packed up. And it's nice to see Beijing going doing so well, because guess where we're going next?
Superleague is going to China. With the championship tighter than ever before, a new dimension is about to be added to Super League Formula, a track race and a street race in China.
China, are you ready for Super League Formula?
And there's one car in particular that can guarantee a warm welcome in Asia, Beijing.
I think everything's going to be a lot different. I don't know what's going to be the biggest thing. I think sort of like a bit interested to see what the circuit's going to be like. Obviously everything in China is like quite different to Europe and also Australia, so really looking forward to it. I like Chinese food, so it should be good.
Well, there are going to be 2 new tracks. The first one is pretty much new to everyone. That's going to be exciting new track, so I expect a lot of it. The biggest difference is actually the time difference, and you got a couple of days to get used to that.
I think it should be great, you know, going outside Europe and going to a place where no one knows the track, no one knows anything, so it should be a challenge for us to go there.
It's a big thing for Super League. It's our first flyaway event, and China's a very important market. So, and especially for the football clubs. And the football clubs have been anxiously calling us, saying, you are going to do China, aren't you? You are going to do China. And yes, China's on, and we're looking forward to it.
So how will the challenge of China affect the title race?
The team have done quite a few flyaways, so I know for a fact we're very focused and well prepared on the China races, and they're very important for the championship.
To race there, for sure, it's a new track. I think it will be very dirty because not a lot of cargo there. We will have a nice fight, we will see.
Especially on a road course, it will make a difference to know the track, because on a road course you always have to build up to it slowly, where on another track, a normal track, you can push a bit harder and go off a little bit, and it's still not a problem.
The circuit looks absolutely amazing. So overall, we're quite excited. Drivers are really adaptable, and I think teams are as well.
China, are you ready for Super League Formula?
Beijing going home to China for the next 2 rounds. PSV with work to do, changing an engine, and a star on the grid for FC Porto. How will race 2 go? Join us when we come back. crowd is settling down in the shade of the main grandstand for race number 2 that will see Beijing going starting from the back of the grid as the race 1 winner. Here's how they line up with Bordeaux and Atletico Madrid with the pressure of the front row start, then Howell Lloyd on row number 2. Row 3, Neil Yarney, how will he go from there? Jelmer Berman looking for points for AC Milan. Duncan Tappy always seems to get to the super final. Further back through the field, Frederick Vervisch for Liverpool is down on row number 8. And right at the back, of course, the first and second place cars from the first race. Davide Rigon leading the championship, but only just.
Now, Davide, you were in this position in Adria at the top of the leaderboard, but you weren't able to hold on to it. Can you this time?
We will see. We will see. Now we are concentrated for this race. I hope to stay in the top after this race. Then will be fantastic for us.
Look at that rise. That shows you how steep it is up to the start-finish line. Everyone coming through the final turn now. What pressure on the front two. They've got 16 other cars breathing down their neck. 13,500 horsepower in total on this grid. As they come around, the Nissan is into the pit lane. It's again a very, very slow start. It's down to the pole sitter to dictate the pace here. Still no lights. Everybody trying to brake. They can't see the lights, of course, because they're behind it. That is 6 wide across the start line. Oh my goodness me. Can we hold this all together? The leading two have managed to stay pretty tight together, and they will hold on to the first 2 positions coming down into turn 1, but everybody else is third.
Yeah, that was really, to my opinion, there was a bad start. They were way too slow. Look at that, all the cars are together. Craig Dolby has lost his front wing.
Oh, disaster!
Dolby, it's a disaster. Just a very bad start from the leaders. It's over for the championship leaders just there. Tottenham Hotspurs, no front wing. It's a drama.
Dolby done a pretty good first race. Let's have another look at this. Look, his wing is still on there. You can see it's still on. Oh, he's hit the back of the 5 car ahead of him. That's unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy. Maya Villota was like completely stopped in the middle of the corner. I don't know what happened there to her, but none of the leaders are there anymore. Leading.
Berman's off! Berman's off on the final corner, and that is very quick round there. What's happened to him? I thought I saw some damage on the back of the Spurs car as well. The start is under investigation, say the race officials. Oh my goodness, Davide Rigon is getting all the looks so far here in Superleague Formula by Sonengol. The Anderlecht driver, what a fantastic point-scoring opportunity. Okay,
that's the leader, Celso Miguez.
That's Miguez spinning, and Berman had to miss him. My goodness, that was so close to disaster for both of them. On board with Jelmer.
On board with Jelmer, he's diving into the inside, and he has no way to go but go around the... and he was so close from being touched by him and taken off.
That's a fantastic save into the pit for Dolby and Spurs. And they're doing a set of tyres because he's routed the front tyres with no front downforce. Out goes Dolby. He's back in the race, but he's a long way back. That pit lane's going to seem very long. The good news is he's still on the lead lap. He won't lose a lap here. It's almost 3 miles around, 4.6 kilometres. So now he's got to get his head down, and I think he's got to drive as far into the race as he can, go right through the pit stop window right till the very end, and then see where he ends up. Look at this, right round the outside, 2 different lanes. It looks like the A22 motorway on a Monday morning.
Maya de Villota is just in the middle of everybody, and everybody tries to pass around the inside, outside. I don't know, she's not very confident at the beginning of this race. She is struggling a bit. Oh, she manages to go dive inside. See, she makes me like, oh, and she squeezes Beijing around the inside. Move. Oh, sorry, she squeezes Portugal. Defends very well, actually, there. She's woken up suddenly.
PSV on the push to pass, already used a couple. You start with 8 as they go across the line, and it looks like John Martin's having a look. He's forced right in towards the pit wall. My goodness, he kicks up the dirt here, but he's still going down the inside, trying to make up a position, and he's somehow got it done, but he won't hold on to that. Surely Milan goes through, past 1, past 2. Jelmer Berman saw the advantage there on the inside, didn't need any second invitation, and goes through like a rat up a drain pipe. Now look at this. This is early on. This is Beijing coming up behind Sporting Lisbon. And look how close he is to the wall, and you've got to watch AC Milan, who get the advantage in, hardly in the picture yet. Now let's go back to the start of the race. Now the problem for the guys behind is they can't see the lights because they're underneath the hill.
That's crazy. I mean, Celso Miguez and Maria de Villota were, look, they were so slow that they're already in the middle of the pack. All the pack has passed them, so there's a mistake from them being too slow at the start, the pace being too low, and all the cars are already overtaking. There's not even space on the track. They have to drive in the grass on the right side.
I actually think there was 10 wide at once, but they're half the grid were in a line across.
The pace of the leaders was wrong, and then the guys at the back, because of the leaders, they just went onto the throttle, and that was too early. And everybody should been taken off of the race because everybody overtook before the start-finish line. So it's not going to happen, but it's just a really, really bad start from the field.
And we were actually very lucky to get by with as little contact as there were. But the man who really lost out, look, you can't see the start lights.
Yeah, but that's super dangerous. And it's down to the leaders to do the job. Actually, it's a bad start from the field, but such a good moment, so much action. And so
well, look at Dolby coming through here. He must have thought, this is fantastic. He's up to about 6th or 7th at this point. He stays pretty much on the track. Yeah. It's good, it's good, it's good. He has to move out, and here's Maria Villota reversing back towards us.
Yeah, no, that's PSV.
That's Howell Lloyd.
Everybody had to brake because Maria de Villota had probably a problem downshifting. I don't know. We're going to see. Maria de Villota is towards the inside there, and she's being squeezed and maybe a bit pushed. Yeah, she's a bit sideways going into the corner. Probably didn't downshift in quick enough. And yeah, there you go.
Oh dear. This is Marcos Martinez for Sevilla.
In the last corner, I think. Yeah, he was. The strange thing, it's that AC Milan really stopped quite a lot into the first corner, or actually third corner, as we are seeing.
That looks like maybe a driveline problem.
Sevilla just parking his car on the side, having an engine problem or gearbox problem, probably.
As Berman goes for a position down the inside, that was pushed to pass at work again. Now can he get it stopped into turn 1? Again, he has to correct in the middle as he goes over that famous bump now. We're going to call that Giovanni Bruce's bump, because he was the one who spotted that very early on. But that again, pretty copy boot manoeuvre.
Yeah, very nice manoeuvre. Oh no, look at that.
Oh no, hang on. This is not right. This is AC Milan, and that is not racing speed. We haven't slowed this down. It's not a replay. Jelmer Berman is pulling off the track, and AC Milan are in big trouble. There'll be no super final for them, and the car is out.
Oh my God, for the championship, that's terrible, terrible. He must be so tough and disappointed. That's terrible. Down to a mechanical failure. When you're fighting for the championship, what a frustration. Oh my, terrible.
Ooh. All good till he came out the corner, then no gears.
No, it's not no gears, it's just broke, how do you say, a drive shaft.
Drive shaft.
Yes, drive
shaft. Oh my
broken.
goodness, this is Porto. This is Porto in the kitty litter as well. Alvaro Perez. Both Portuguese cars are out. That's at the exit of the final corner. That's a very fast place. And there, as we're hearing, Sporting Lisbon, Sporting Club de Portugal out as well. Massimo Cortez in the pit lane. He's been told to get back out again. The whole wheel came unattached, and that at what, 240 clicks? That must have caught his attention. Olympique Lyonnais into the pit lane, which is open, and they've come in early. Out of second position for Tristan Gomendy.
And new tyres as well for Max Bissell, new tyres for Tristan Gomendy as well, very important. New tyres for Robert Dombos and the Corinthians, who does a very good stop.
This is John Martin. Now, I thought he might have stayed out and gone long here. Expect to see Spurs coming up, though, because I don't think Craig Dolby will be coming in anytime soon. And he will, of course, pass the Atletico Madrid car, so he knows Jelmer Berman's not scoring well here. So important pit stop for the Olympiacos car, Neil Yarni. That's not bad. It's not bad.
And that's the leader, Neil Yarni. Good stop. We're on board with Beijing, who's fighting with David Erigon.
He wants to be close enough to attack coming onto the start-finish straight, which is 2 corners away, and they've got traffic in front of them. So now John Martin realises there's an opportunity with a slower car ahead, and he will push as hard as he can coming out of the penultimate corner. Now he needs to get on the power. Now he needs to get on the power boost and see if he can do it. That other car ahead might just be helping him here as they drop down. It is! Davide Rigon is held up terribly at the apex of the final corner, and John Martin will sweep underneath the rear wing, and they'll be side by side across the start-finish line. Now, who's got the horsepower? Very evenly matched as Rigon pushed the pass, I think,
yes,
there, down into the first corner, and John Martin still trying. Excellent driving by both of those drivers.
Yeah, very good driving, very clever Davide Rigon, because he used the push-up as he probably knows, has the information that Beijing has only 3 to go, and he has 7. Another 6 to go now after he used it in the straight, but he defended very well, even if it was a bit late. But what happened with Celso Miguez, who's at the pit stop now? He turned in onto Davide Rigon and just stopped him so much.
And we've got a drive-through penalty for John Martin. He's exceeded the pit lane speed limit. That's why the team manager was being asked to go up and talk to race control. And there is the stop-go. My apologies, it hadn't been taken by Beijing. My goodness, that makes things even worse for John. And the Beijing going team, John Martin trickling through, making sure he doesn't exceed the speed limit again. It's not necessarily significant in terms of points, but it will be significant for poor Craig Dolby, the Spurs car long-time championship leader, down in 13th position at the moment. That's how it stands. It is very tight indeed, and every position gained is more points and a better lead for Davide Rigon and Anderlecht. He's right up the tailpipes of Roma there, and they're sitting in 9th and 10th position as they come onto the start-finish line. Beijing up 6. Didn't have to pass many cars to get them, and Rigon now beginning to get a little frustrated. You can feel it. He's weaving around behind the AS Roma car of Julien Jus.
And he's probably going to use a push to pass just now because he's so close. It's dangerous to be that close there because you lose downforce and you understeer. And let's see if he uses a push to pass. He's on it.
Last one, and he's down the inside.
Julien Jus is not even defending.
Can't.
No.
There's nothing he can do with that, and that is where the tactics of this comes in. You know, that's sensible driving. Very tempting it must have been for Davide Rigon to use a lot of push to pass in the early part of the race when you're coming off the back row, but he saved one for the end, and that's got him a few more points, and that could be really important come the end of the championship. Here we go again, onto the start-finish straight.
He's already on the push to pass there, plus he takes the toe, goes on the inside. Julien Jus not even closing on the inside.
Tiny little glance. Oh, look at how bumpy it is there. Tiny little glance in the left-hand mirror by Davide Rigon when he gets through. Watch, he just glances once there, and once again he knows he can take the racing line, and he's really not pressured at all, doesn't even feel the need to defend into turn number 3, the next corner. Still a little bit of nerves down at Olympiacos. Everything, trying to look cool for the cameras, but you just know that everything's boiling there. And when the checkered flag, which is being taken out of its little holder on the pit wall just down to our left of our commentary box, it's in the hand of the official. And Neil Yarney has won here once in A1GP, and he makes it a delightful double here in Super League Formula by Son and Gold. Takes the checkered flag. And he's delighted.
Second, we should see 10 seconds behind, but a good performance from Tristan Gomendy, who would have never thought that he was going to do a podium this weekend because he started off so far, he couldn't even do the first practice, so a podium for them, very good job. Good job as well for Corinthians and Robert Dombos, followed by Basil, who does the good operation for the championship because he's now 3rd.
Let's put that down so we can confirm it. Olympiacos with Neil Yarney becoming a winner for the 2nd time in 2 different series here at Portimao. And look at that gap. He was winning at a canter. Gomendy, Dombas 2nd and 3rd. Duncan Tappy picking up good points for Flamengo in 7th position. Noah Lloyd helping out his mechanics after they helped out him with the engine change. And AS Roma down in 10th position. Julien Jus still off form a little bit this weekend. John Martin fought his way back to 11th from the back of the grid. And then, well, it's Madrid ahead of Spurs.
What an incredible performance by you. We spoke yesterday, you said the pressure was on, but 10-second lead.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought it will be such a big win. I had a great start, Nearly crashed with the car in front of me because they slowed down suddenly. And yeah, great win. I mean, I'm really happy. This morning we had a lot of problems with our radio, so I came twice through the pits and lost everything. But that win makes up for my whole day, so I'm really happy with my debut win. No?
6 cars, a 3-mile circuit. Get ready to start the clock. Dawn Boss has been sitting there a long time. It's not a very long hold, and Basel gets a great start. We're on board with Max Wissel. But look at that! Vervish from Liverpool in the red car storms ahead and gets down to turn 1 in the lead. That was a rocket ship start.
Oh, Dawn Boss spins and takes away Tristan Gomendy with him, I think. Yeah,
the top 4, yes, there
and
is.
no win for Tristan Gomendy. It's over, and the wheel as well.
Left front suspension
broken.
Gone. That is the wishbone gone. Oh, what a shame for Gomendy. He'd worked so hard with that car. A rocket ship start. So it's Liverpool leading from Anderlecht, from Beijing, from Basel. And there's really nothing in this. Max Wissel just a little bit off the back of the leading trio as they come out of the final corner and explode into the vision of the packed grandstands here across the line. Look at them grounding out. There's no need to save the car now. Everything that you've got left needs to be on the table. And here comes John Martin, flicks to the left-hand side of the circuit. He's going to have to work hard from there, but he's got it done. And Beijing goes up to 2nd place.
Yes, I knew it.
Oh,
Beijing is there. Yeah, the Dawn Boss car is still there. They should have had a yellow flag. I don't know what's going to happen there.
Let's go back and have a look. Here is Davide Rigon. Watch to the left-hand side here as he comes through, and he's pointing, and the reason he's pointing and shaking his fist, yellow flag. John Martin has gone through. You could see the yellow flag being waved. Vervish has been very clever here because he's clearly got a car that is very good out of the slower corners. Oh, the big slide there from John Martin. Just as you said earlier, it's dangerous to get too close. And look, Vervish feels he has to defend, and Martin's gone through. What's happened to Vervish? He's trying to hold on, but I think he's got a problem.
And Beijing has just given his spot back because his engineer was telling him on the radio. And what a shame, because he was overtaking Vervish.
Yeah, he looked like he had the lead there, and now we're on the last lap. John Martin will be absolutely fuming underneath the helmet. The normally affable Antipodean will be on fire.
No, Vervish sideways, Vervish making a return mistake.
The leader making a mistake in that very tricky uphill right-hander, and now he's got his hands full. Vervish now, he's got his eyes on 100,000 euros, and if he's going to keep his fingers on it, he's going to have to work very, very hard in the last 4 or 5 corners. Another tricky hairpin to come, and it seems the Liverpool car is just a little bit difficult to get into the apex of the slow corners, but he's done nicely there. The Liverpool car are going through to take the super final. 100,000 euros goes to Liverpool. Second Anderlecht, third Beijing.
Very exciting race. Just a bit of a mess with the yellow flag.
Now watch to the left-hand side here. You can see the yellow flag at the marshal's post there. John Martin's already got through. There's another waved yellow, and straight away Rigon points. He knows that that is not going to be allowed to stand.
The checkered flag in the hands of Belgian driver Frederik Vervish for Liverpool, and that confirms their position in 8th in the championship table. Just 1 place behind them, Beijing, as we head to China for the next 2 rounds. But at the top, well, it's so close. Just 14 points between Anderlecht and Spurs, and a new 3rd place club. FC Basel go ahead of Milan, who dropped to 4th. Olympiacos, with their 2nd super sub, Neil Yarni, getting good points this weekend, consolidate themselves in 5th position. And the bottom 3 clubs, Madrid, Lyonnais and Eindhoven.
That was a lesson in standing starts.
Yeah, it was a good start, and yeah, I knew I was not the fastest because I didn't have the new tires, and I just tried to hold them off, and that's what I did, and I cannot believe it. I'm really, really happy because I think this means that I can go to the next round, and this is just great, so happy.
You must be delighted though, Frederik, because this is only your 2nd round out in Super League Formula, and both times you've got into super finals.
Yeah, I didn't expect to win so early because we don't focus on the super final, because if you focus you use a new tire, and yeah, we didn't, and we just tried to do good races, and here we are. The start was really good, and Although I am not sure, because they said to me I'm second in the standing start and I had to start fourth, so I don't know what I was, but I'm speechless. I'm really, really happy.
Super League Formula is all about commitment, and no one has given more this weekend than Beijing's John Martin, fighting a very nasty flu bug. He's given it all. He's got nothing left. Meantime, the championship leader is with Abby.
You have got to the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, fantastic. The second race was difficult with dual tires, but okay, fantastic for us. Unfortunately, Beijing overtook me in yellow flag now, and then I used the push to pass for overtake him and not Liverpool, so it was not enough a push to pass. So unfortunately, I was the fastest today with new tires, but okay, fantastic for me to be in the top of the champion now. I hope to keep it for the end.
But not only have you gone in front, you've gone in front by 14 points, so that super final second place has helped you.
Yeah, no, it's okay, fantastic for me. Now we have to think about the champion. It's more important now for me.
Warm congratulations to Liverpool FC and Frederick Vervisch for his super final victory here in Portugal. The next time we're in Europe will be for the finale in October in Spain. Between now and then, we're off to China. From Super League Formula by Sonangol at Portugal, bye for now.